What's that? What's happening, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel, the Victory Formation Sports Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button on your way in, and we've because what they did to Kobe, Gigi, and the seven other victims was just disgusting. And Vanessa is not letting that slide. So recently, late last night, most of you guys were probably asleep. I was actually up and I was waiting till the morning to now to share with you that Vanessa actually released the names of the four LA County Sheriff Department deputies who took pictures of the helicopter crash site of Kobe Bryant, Gigi Bryant, and the seven other victims. Let me read to you from CNN. It says in a series of Instagram posts on Wednesday, Vanessa Bryant revealed the names of the four Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department deputies who allegedly took or shared grisly photos of the scene of the helicopter crash that killed her husband, NBA legend Kobe Bryant, the daughter Gianna, and seven others. The posts were of amended complaint filed Wednesday in U.S. District Court in Los Angeles and obtained by CNN. The names of the deputies are Joey Cruz, Rafael Meja, Michael Russell, and Paul Versailles as defendants, in addition to Los Angeles County, its sheriff, and fire departments. The lawsuit seeks damages, claiming negligence and invasion of privacy. So Vanessa is all, got guns blazing, and rightfully so, because this is, like I said, something that should have never took place. These guys took pictures of the crash site of Kobe Bryant. Now, look, it gets worse than this. So besides the fact that they took the pictures, how did the public find out that there was actually pictures of Kobe, Gianna, and the seven other victims, rest their souls? How did they find out that these pictures actually exist? And this is where it gets kind of crazy, right? So she's got the lawsuit going against LA County, the fire department, the sheriff's department, and she won a ruling in court that allows her to share these names. She went to court and said, hey, the LA County Sheriff, you guys should share the name. You guys should release the names of the idiots who did this. And they said, no, we don't need to do this as an internal investigation. So she went to court and sued that she could get the names released. And the judge in Los Angeles said, no, you're allowed. She won in court and she was allowed to release the names. Now, here is how the public found out about these dummies and that they were actually taking pictures of the crash site when you have 9 deceased people the day of January 26, 2020. So it says the complaint alleges Cruz, quote, boasted that he had worked the scene of the accident where Kobe had died and showed photos of the crash site to a bartender and a bar patron on January 28, 2 days after the crash. On the same day, Cruz also showed the photos of Bryant's remains to his niece, according to the complaint. I mean, you've got to be a sick individual. Like, you really have to be really sick to go around showing corpse. I get it. Kobe is famous, but this is really what you want to be known for. The guy who was going around showing everybody Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and those other victims' dead bodies. You gotta be pretty sick to go around, and it gets worse. It gets worse. So the bartender who saw the photos then shared with other customers that he had seen the photos and, quote, described specific characteristics of Mr. Bryant's remains. Oh my God. It goes on. One of the customers found this situation, quote, very, very disturbing and emailed a complaint to the sheriff's department describing the deputy. Another deputy, Russell, allegedly shared photos with a friend to whom he, quote, plays video games with nightly, the complaint said. I mean, think about this, guys. Think about this. You're in a horrific tragedy that leaves you that causes you to lose your life. Right? You don't have an ounce. I don't have an ounce of the celebrity status of a Kobe Bryant. And someone is there taking pictures of your deceased corpse and going around showing bartenders, going around sharing them on video games, going around showing patrons at a bar. Like, think about how your family would feel, and you don't have an ounce. I don't have an ounce. I know how my family would feel, and I don't have an ounce of the celebrity status of a Kobe Bryant. I don't have an ounce of that. But they're going around literally, like, listen to what this bartender said. Listen to I'm gonna read it again. The bartender who saw the photos then shared with a customer. So he saw the photos, he's probably messed up in the head. He said he then shares with the customer he had seen the photos and, quote, describes specific characteristics of Kobe Bryant's remains. Specific, so that means these photos were so close and so vivid that he could describe specific characteristics of Kobe Bryant's remains. I hope I am like saddened for the families involved. But Vanessa Bryant, I mean, I'm sure when she and her lawyers gathered all of this information, like I said, they've waged war against the LA County Sheriff's Department. They have waged war. They are not holding anything back. There's no holds bars. When people say that they can specifically describe Kobe's remains in a horrible, tragic accident, that means the other folks that they can vividly describe who they are too. I can't imagine, losing your daughter, losing your husband, losing your friends, and having the police who are supposed to protect and serve go around sharing these photos, these private photos of your family during the worst moment of your life. The absolute worst moment of your entire existence. And you have guys going around sharing photos with family members, guys going around sharing their photos at bars, with patrons at bars, with the bartenders, guys going around sharing the photos while they're playing video games. Like, are you serious? The names of these is 4 officers. The names of these officers, LA County Sheriff's deputies, are Joey Cruz, Rafael Meja, Meja, Michael Russell, and Paul Versailles. I can't believe it. And I think, besides there being wholesale change, and that's the thing. That people wonder why police are not trusted. And you wonder why police, like, you get a bad rap. I mean, there's a number of reasons why police get bad raps, right? Like, they're like, the list, especially for Black people, is too long to go on. But this is just disgusting. I agree with you, Angela. It's more than just the celebrity status, because that's why I use the example of you or me. Angela says, this is not about celebrity. This is about the continued disrespect for Black lives and the lives of Black families who have lost loved ones. I completely agree with you. Because, like I said, if this was me or you, and we don't have an ounce of the celebrity status of a Kobe Bryant, or of his daughter, of his family, or whoever, but just think about that. If you were in a horrible car wreck, if you were in a horrible plane crash, if you were in a horrible whatever, and your body is laying there lifeless, and your wife doesn't know yet, or your wife can't come see you, or your husband or your family or whoever can't come see you, can't come, help you, like, it's your body is lifeless, and they are police officers, LA County Sheriff's deputies, there on the scene, supposedly supposed to be helping, but instead of helping, taking pictures and then sharing those pictures with people at bars and over video games. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, Angela, you're right. This country is founded on the devaluation of Black lives. I mean, you're not gonna get any argument out of me from that. But that Vanessa Bryant has waged war on the LA County Sheriff's Department, and she's gonna win. She's going to win because the details of this lawsuit are disturbing, are disgusting, and I just really wondering, like, that's an institutional problem. Like, you can't fix that. Nobody out of these 4 deputies thought it was wrong or didn't think to stop someone from taking these pictures. Like, nobody thought, like, nobody had the wherewithal to say, guys, this probably isn't a good idea, right? To take these pictures of the scene, of the crash scene, to your personal devices. Not like a corner picture, right? Where they come out there and take the pictures of the crime, not a crime scene, but of the scene or whatever. But to take pictures on their cell phones and then go back and share these photos and images. Like, what the hell do you expect to gain out of that? Some notoriety? Some clout? Hey, guys, I got these pictures of dead corpses, and one of them happens to be Kobe Bryant. Like, where are you going with this? I don't know. That is very disturbing. But like I said, Vanessa Bryant is not going to sleep until, I mean, honestly, these men should be in jail. But, she's going to get any and everything out of the LA County, out of the city of Los Angeles in LA County. She's going to get any and everything out of them, whether it's damages, firings. Honestly, like I said, these guys should be in jail. But hey, she's going to get any and everything that she can get. And she deserves it, because this is, like I said, this is very disturbing. When I was reading this stuff and seeing that these guys are sharing it over video games, over bars, over drinks and stuff, like it was a sporting event. And this is the loss of lives, several lives. Nah, man. Nah, that just didn't sit right with me. Once again, guys, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr., the Victory Formation Sports Show. I'm going to be able to get that. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Victory Formation. And so, on here on the Black Boss channel. So, moving on. It's kind of hard to move on from that, but we'll try to. Good morning to you, Mr. Coffee. The NCAA tournament starts today. And I don't talk about college sports a whole lot because, especially this year, college sports was just not the same. College sports COVID kind of ruined college sports. The beauty behind college sports is the fact that you get to watch your favorite school, your favorite team, your favorite whatever, go out and compete and at least look like they have a chance of winning, right? And this year, COVID just kind of took that away. And so the NCAA tournament starts today, and there's no Duke, there's no Kentucky, there's no Louisville, and for my personal sake, there's no WKU. I'm going to just throw that in there because I'm a WKU alum. And so this is the first time the NCAA tournament hasn't had Duke, Kentucky, Louisville, or WKU since 1965. Now, the ratings for the NCAA tournament March Madness are going to be in the tank, and there's going to be a number of reasons why. One, ratings across everything, every major sport has been in the garbage this year. That's just how it is. It's because people are dealing with a whole lot more than wanting to participate in sports. It's good that we have sports back. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that they brought back sports. But folks are dealing with a whole lot, whether it's the loss of their jobs, whether it's, the loss of family members, COVID, just, everything. The economy was in the trash for a long time. Like, a lot of things have gone wrong in America for most folks who are casual sports fans to tune in. And so I think March Madness, just like the Super Bowl, just like the NBA Finals, just like all the other sporting events that have taken place this year or in the past year, is going to suffer. And it's also going to suffer because there's no Duke, no Kentucky, and no Louisville. No, and Kansas is not the favorite. North Carolina is not a favorite. Villanova is not a favorite. The favorites this year are teams like Gonzaga and Baylor. I'm sorry, no offense, shout out to the Gonzaga and Baylor, but nobody's checking in for Gonzaga and Baylor. Gonzaga's undefeated, and a lot of people probably don't even realize that. It has a legit chance to go the entire season undefeated and be the first team to go undefeated since 1976. 1976, they have a legit chance of doing it. But nobody's even checking for them. Nobody's even sweating Gonzaga. And they have literally a legit chance to go undefeated this season. But college basketball has a real problem. Here is what college basketball is facing. And not just college basketball, college sports, but mainly college basketball, because college basketball is built around blue blood programs and stars. Blue blood programs and stars that you will see at the next level. And they have a problem. One, their biggest stars either are choosing not to go to college at all, whether it's the G League, overseas, or whatever. And two, their blue blood programs are down, at least for this year. Their blue blood programs are down, and there's only going to be rampant more and more competition taken away from college basketball. Think about it. The G League is rising. You can get $500,000 to go play in the G League right now if you're a top prospect. So a lot of the top prospects that would have went to your Dukes or your Kentuckys or your whoever, they chose to go to the G League. Jalen Green chose to go to the G League. Kuminga chose to go to the G League. Daishen Nix chose to go to the G League. Isaiah Todd chose to go to the G League. Like, these guys chose to go get paid instead of playing in college basketball. So that is a problem. That's a problem they're gonna face. There's more competition coming. Overtime, who is going to be sponsored by Kevin Durant and I think Carmelo Anthony, are creating a new startup league that will pay kids $100,000 plus. So there's going to be even more competition for college basketball. So the fact that NCAA has had a stranglehold monopoly over these kids and not allowed them to get paid. I just saw a tweet or a post today from the guy, Javon Quiverly. He plays for Alabama. He was the SEC tournament MVP. Javon Quinterly, or I think it's Quinterly. He was the SEC tournament MVP. And him and his friends, back where he's from, I think up in New York, created the Jelly Fam, right? Like, there's a cool way to do the layups and whatever. And they had, like, it's a global thing. Like, I remember, because they're a little younger than me, but I remember when this Jelly Fam thing popped on the scene and folks everywhere were trying to do these, like, fancy layups. It's the way they do layups, and they call it the Jelly Fam. Well, they've never been able to profit off this social media craze that they created because they all were D1 athletes. He originally went to Villanova. The other guy that's a big dude, like really well known, associated with the Jelly Fam, went to Minnesota. Like, but they couldn't, but obviously they couldn't profit from their name or their buzz or everything that they had going because they wanted to keep the scholarships, right? So that's the problem that the NCAA is having. That is the problem college basketball is having because it's star-driven, blue blood-driven. Like the football, it's mainly team-driven, right? Alabama's always going to be good. There's not really other minor league football leagues, right? The best exposure you can get trying to get to the NFL is college football. And for a long time, it was college basketball. But now we're seeing that's not the case. We just saw LaMelo Ball go to the NBA, and he never played a game in college basketball. He's going to be rookie of the year. He was a top 3 pick. He never played a game in college basketball. We also saw James Wiseman played 3 games at Memphis, went number 2 overall, played 3 games at Memphis. It didn't hurt his draft stock. So kids are now realizing there are several avenues that I can take to get to the NBA, and it doesn't have to be college basketball. And some of those avenues have me getting paid $500,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 instead of going to class. Now, it's like, Jeff, what does it matter? They're going to be millionaires the next year. Well, no, it does matter because I can get a $500,000 advance, right? And then $1 million endorsement or $7 million endorsements a year early. I'm going to take that. And there's going to be no hit on my draft stock. LaMelo Ball not going to UCLA or not playing college basketball inevitably didn't hurt his draft stock at all. James Wiseman only playing 3 games at Memphis didn't hurt his draft stock at all. It's just the truth. These guys, there's so many different avenues. Darius Baisley chose after high school to get an internship with New Balance, play in the G League. It didn't hurt his draft stock at all. Anthony Simmons, the guy who just won the dunk contest, you guys probably didn't even watch or enjoy, didn't play college basketball at all. You want to know why I know? Because he was supposed to go to Louisville. And when the Rick Pitino stuff happened, he said, I'm good. Went, straight from prep school to the NBA. It didn't hurt his draft stock at all. It was still a first-round pick. So college basketball has a serious, serious problem. And they're going to have to address it very, very soon. I mean, damn the fact that college basketball is not the same it was 5-10 years ago. Like we've all acknowledged that, right? You can say the one and done or whatever, but even 5 years ago, the product was better. 10 years ago, it was way better. And then like for the guys that was watching the 20 and 30 years ago, you guys know you got to know the players. You got to really know the players because they say 2, 3, 4, and most of them 2 and 3 years, most of them 4 years. So they have a serious problem on their hands. The fact that the G League is up and thriving, the fact that overtime is creating a league that will pay kids 6 figures is going to be a problem, and it sucks because I really like college basketball. But this is what happens when you do wrong by kids for so long. When you do wrong by kids for so long, these are the issues that arise. For ages, these kids have not been able to cash in on their name, image, and likeness. And now you're trying to expedite the process. First, you were fighting it, right? Because you got to remember, the state of California passed this like 2 years ago. They were like, yo, kids need to be able to get paid for name, image, and likeness. And even if it's only here in California, it's going to happen here in California. And the NCAA, when that happens, said, oh, hell no. We just, California kids just aren't going to be able to play in NCAA sanctioned or events. And guess what? They changed their tone really quick because they start realizing they were losing a lot of money and a lot of kids to these different type of organizations like the G League or like overseas. And when you don't have the star power, you lose the kids. Shout out to Couture, man, tuning in. Says, and Couture is a school teacher, so she would know. It's his facts. The more kids should take the alternative routes in the NCAA and let them get their legal bag. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because here's the thing. Obviously, everybody's not going to play in the NBA. Everybody needs, there's way more NCAA institutions, Division I programs, Division II programs, Division III programs than there are jobs in the NBA or the NFL. I mean, it's just that simple. Like, there's no other way to put it. But at the same time, for those who know, like there's kids that know. Zion, when he was a junior in high school, senior in high school, knew he was an NBA player. Knew he could play in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids that like Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State. I mean, come on. Like he knew as a senior in high school, he was an NBA player playing with high school kids. Like it's just that simple. So you allow those to explore their NBA options early, and then the NCAA should allow them to get their bag while they're in college. Or you know what I'm saying? When you go to college, you should compensate. You say there's no money, but I see million and super $1 million facilities built by all these universities. Every single year, there's a university that is building millions and $1 million facilities, whether it's locker rooms or gaming facilities or weight rooms or whatever. Every single year, they're building new stuff, new construction, and they're telling me there's no money for the kids. Okay, whatever. So you said there's no money. But damn, the kids can't even sell their own gear or sign autographs or take pictures or do whatever people are willing or monetize their YouTube channels. And you're telling me they can't even do that? Damn, you giving them money. Like, because that's just the worst thing in the world, right? Like the kid, you actually paying the kid for their services is just like the worst thing in the world. Okay, whatever. So you say, even if we take that away, which is still inhumane, but say we take that away. Me, because I'm a college athlete, and that's what Javon Quiverly was saying, I'm a college athlete. I created a thing, the Jelly Fam, that has garnered recognition around the world. Not recognition just in New York, not recognition just in the United States, recognition around the world. And I can't even capitalize on that because I play at Alabama. I can't even capitalize that because I play at Minnesota. That is not right at all. That is not right at all. And that is the issue that is taking place in the NCAA. And they're going to continue to have this problem as more and more leagues sprout up and kids realize there's alternate routes to get to the NBA. There's alternate routes to get to where they want to go to. There's alternate routes to get to their final destination. Like I said, James Wiseman. Look at the top 3 picks in the NBA draft this past year. Look at some of the best players in the NBA. Luka Doncic never played college basketball. James Wiseman played 3 games. LaMelo Ball never played college basketball. Like, there's going to be at least 2 more top 10, top 5 picks that didn't play college basketball. Jalen Green and Kuminga. They're going to go in the top 10 somewhere. They never played college basketball. Ben Simmons didn't even go to class. His team didn't make the tournament. He was the number 1 overall pick. Like, they have issues, and they're going to have to solve them. But back, so I say all of that because I got on the tangent about, like, the NCAA and what's going on and everything. But my picks, I guess I got to make picks because I told, shout out to Husky, I told him that I'd make picks for the NCAA. And I haven't followed college basketball deeply. Like, I covered Western Kentucky, so I follow WKU really heavily. But outside of that, and shout out to Jay Michael, you named a lot of the straight out of high school players. Yeah, Kobe, LeBron, KG, T-Mac, Amar Stoudemire. And the interesting story about Amar Stoudemire, I read this the other day. I never knew this was true. Amar Stoudemire, who was the number 1 pick in his, I think it was the 2001 draft, or 2002 draft, somewhere around there. He was the number 1 overall pick and out of high school. He was the number 1 overall pick straight out of high school. And he actually didn't start basketball until his sophomore year of high school. That's a really cool story. So you were so good at basketball, then goes on to win Rookie of the Year. So it wasn't like he was a bust, right? Like, he's going to get Hall of Fame votes. So he was the number 1 overall pick in the 2000, I think it was 2002 NBA draft, straight out of high school. And he didn't start playing basketball until his sophomore year of high school. That is pretty incredible. James Washington says, but a kid attending the university can monetize off the school superstar that isn't. Yeah, I mean, exactly. So, like, I can sell jerseys with, say Zion Williamson was number 1. His jersey number was number 1 at Duke, right? I can sell a million number 1 Duke jerseys, right? Because people think that's Zion, but Zion gets absolutely nothing. That was the whole deal, and the NCAA has had this problem for years, right? Like, I mean, some of the most well-known cases were like with the Fab Five and Chris Webber and stuff like that. But now that with the social media age, and I think people are finally, like, the mainstream media is finally coming around, because at the time they were calling kids like Chris Webber and guys like Jalen Rose, who were like, how in the hell is Michigan getting all these millions and millions of dollars off my name, and my family back in Detroit is still struggling to get a meal, right? Or I'm still struggling to get a meal. And this was brought to the forefront with Shabazz Napier, right? He kind of put it early in the early 2010s. But before that, the mainstream media would call the kids selfish. Like, think about that. The kid's making this university millions of dollars. He just want a little kickback. He's not asking for a whole lot. He's glad to be on the stage and get the scholarship and all this stuff, but he wants a little something. You know what I'm saying? And the mainstream media folks had the nerve to call the kids selfish. Like, that was just insane. But when Shabazz Napier, who ended up winning a championship at UConn, said, hey, we're out here winning a championship, which brings in millions of dollars to the university, it's like, I go to bed hungry. Like, think about that. He's like, I go to bed hungry. We're sitting here about to win UConn a national championship, and I go to sleep in my apartment, stomach rumbling. And that's when they made the unlimited snacks meal, like whatever. So, yeah, the NCAA has a lot of problems. But at the end of the day, I am here to pick a champion, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about what's going on, because I follow college basketball. I follow 2 teams in particular. I follow, WKU because it's the team I cover, but I really follow Louisville because that is my team. I follow Louisville, and they didn't make the damn tournament. So Louisville didn't make the tournament. I live in the state of Kentucky, for those who don't know. Louisville didn't make the tournament. Kentucky, UK didn't make the tournament, and WKU didn't make the tournament. So, like, me watching the tournament, I'm not going to watch much of it. I'm not even going to lie. But if I had to pick a champion, I'm rooting for Juwan Howard and the Michigan Wolverines. And that's because Juwan Howard was essentially an NBA assistant for a decade, right? Like, he was an NBA assistant for years and years and years. And they would never, yeah, you late, Husky, you are late. They would never give Juwan Howard they never gave him an NBA job, right? So he had to go to college to get a job. Same with shout out to the Georgetown Hoyas and Patrick Ewing, because the same thing happened to Patrick Ewing. These guys were assistant coaches in the NBA for years and years and years, and they never gave them jobs. And so now they're going to college and they're having success. Patrick Ewing's got the Hoyas back in the tournament. Juwan Howard has got Michigan as the number 1 seed. So I'm rooting for Michigan. I'm rooting for Georgetown. Since my team, Louisville, ain't in it, UK ain't in it, WKU ain't in it, Duke ain't in it. Like, so it's the ratings are not going to be the same here in the NCAA tournament. So I just want to revisit our original story at the beginning. Once again, this is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Victory Formation Sports Show, the Black Boss Channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Our original story that we started off in, and I'm going to get out of here, was Vanessa Bryant and the war she has waged against LA County, the LA County Sheriff's Department, the LA County Fire Department, and any type of official authority in Los Angeles, because what they did with Kobe Bryant was sick, right? So Vanessa Bryant, shout out to Monche that didn't. Vanessa Bryant she released the names of the LA County Sheriff's deputies who took pictures at the crash site of Kobe Bryant. I'm gonna run through this again, and then we're gonna get out of here. It says, quote, this is from CNN. It says, in a series of Instagram posts Wednesday, this happened late last night, early this morning, for those of you who probably were asleep. Vanessa Bryant revealed the names of the 4 Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department deputies who allegedly took or shared grisly photos of the scene of the helicopter crash that killed her husband, NBA legend Kobe Bryant, their daughter, Gianna, and 7 others. The posts were of an amended complaint filed Wednesday in U.S. District Court in Los Angeles. The names of the deputies are Joey Cruz, Rafael Meja, Michael Russell, and Raul Versailles as the defendants, in addition to Los Angeles County, its sheriff and fire departments. The lawsuit seeks damages claiming negligence and invasion of privacy. The complaint alleges, now this is where it gets sick, guys, so I mean, just bear with me. The complaint alleges Cruz boasted that he had worked the scene of the accident where Kobe Bryant had died and showed photos of the crash site to a bartender and a bar patron on January 28, 2020, 2 days after the crash. On the same day, Cruz also showed the photos of Bryant's remains to his niece, according to the complaint. And this is how, and so you're wondering, how did people find out? So the bartender who saw the photos then shared with the other customers that he had seen the photos and, quote, described specific characteristics of Bryant's remains. Think about this. The bartender, the photos were so close and so vivid that he could, quote, describe specific characteristics of Kobe Bryant's remains. One of the customers found the situation, quote, very, very disturbing and emailed a complaint to the sheriff's department describing the deputy. This is how it kind of got out to the public, right? This is how it initially broke. And then this is the other guy. Another deputy, Russell, allegedly shared the photos with friends with whom he, quote, plays video games with nightly. I mean, if that isn't sick, I don't know what sick is. I mean, if that isn't sick, I don't really know what it is. So yeah, Vanessa Bryant's got this lawsuit against basically the entire city of Los Angeles and Los Angeles County. And I hope she wins everything, because the fact that, celebrity or no celebrity, that these guys are police officers or sheriff's deputies or whatever that are there to protect and serve, and are going out here with their drunken buddies sharing photos so vivid of Kobe Bryant's remains that this bartender says he can actually distinctly recognize who Kobe Bryant is very sick and saddening. So I hope she wins everything she's looking for. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr., the Black Boss Channel, the Victory Formation Sports Show. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. We're here every weekday morning, roughly around 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. I'll see you guys next time.